may not have sent your grade back yet, Colby.
Okay.
Oh, you graded them? Oh, I want to see that.
I did.
I didn't get a grade right.
I graded them, most of them. Brian, did you look at yours?
Yeah, I thought you weren't allowed to use your book or anything.
Okay. That makes sense. Yeah, you guys are so good. Once, anytime for me anyway, once something leaves my classroom, even if I give a take home, I wouldn't say you can't use your book because it's too hard. And like the temptations there, once something's out of my classroom, you could use your book, your calculator. You could be like, hey, Ben, can you help me? Not that I want him to do your test, but like you could ask him a question about like, how would I do something like this? Anything short of just looking up the answers and copying them, which I hope nobody did that. But yeah. So yeah, I left Brian a note about being a beagle because I wasn't sure why he didn't use his book. Yeah, because you guys are good. So what I want to do today is I want to go over that with you because some of you did struggle. And if you want to, I could give you like another version if you want to do that so you can help your grade. Because normally we take a practice test and then I give you one that's similar. And I did not do the practice test this time because I was just for time's sake, but now I've decided that was an error on my part. So we're going to go over it. If you happened to have gotten a grade that you really like if you got them all right and you got the bonus and you're feeling good and you don't need to review this, you can feel free to jump out. We're doing circles next. So I think it's chapter... Am I doing circles or am I doing... I feel like I want to do chapter 10. Hang on. Let me look at my book.
Yeah.
I feel like... Yeah, we're going to do chapter 10. Chapter 9 is secants and tangents and whatnot. And yeah, they skip that section. So we just kind of go along with what the high school does. And they go from chapter 8 to chapter 10. So we are going to chapter 10 next. Areas of trapezoids, rhombi, and kites. Okay, so if you feel like you're happy with your grade, you don't want to review the questions that were on that test, then you can jump out and, or you could sit here and like read the next chapter, or you could jump out and read the chapter. Yeah, go ahead.
If you did send us our grades, where would they be?
I don't think I did send yours, Colby. How did you send me your test?
They're in
I
Google
think I just
Classroom.
emailed you a picture.
Yeah, so yours is in my email. Let me just look at it real quick. Because yours came in pretty early on Friday, I think. All right. Hang on a second. I'm gonna look you up.
I remember I had most of my tests done before 9.
Yeah. All right. It's looking for you, Colby. My computer runs so slowly. All right. Let me see. I see it. Yeah.
So our next chapter is circles.
No, it's chapter 10. It's like area of trapezoids, rhombi, kites.
Oh, so are we skipping the circles?
Yes, we're going straight to chapter 10.
Okay.
I have yours, Colby. Do you still have it in front of you?
I could probably go find it.
Oh, it's okay. I have it. I didn't put the number grade on it yet because I think you were one of the ones that I wanted to go over it with. So
Okay.
Just pull up the assessment and we'll go over it. And then I will grade it. And if you want to keep that grade, that's fine. I graded all the originals. Okay. So let's look at the first one.
I like my grade, so I'm gonna go.
Okay, that's fine.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
My grade's like kind of in the middle, so
Okay.
I'm just gonna
Yeah.
stay.
The most important part is I just want you to understand how to do it. You know, like obviously that's more important than the grade. But number one, I don't think you guys had a terrible time on number one. Maybe some of you, but it's geometric mean. So number one, what is the mean between 2 and 5? Okay, we do the square root of 2 times 5, which is root 10. All right, that's on page 565 of your book. Okay, page 565. Page 565, that's where you can find that. All right, Brian, are you writing these down? You might have been okay with that one, but just write that down. Number one, how to do it. Okay. Number two, you had to find x. And you're going to use theorem 8.2. It's on page 567. All right, so number two, write down page 567. You're going to do 4 over 6 equals 6 over x minus 4. Okay, you do the cross products. So that gives you 4x minus 16 is 36. 4x is 52. X is 13. I'll hold that up for you. Okay. So that's on page 567. That's theorem 8.2.
Wait, can you keep it up there so I can copy it down?
4 over 6. So we're looking at the base of that triangle. The small part over the altitude is equal to the altitude over the whole base.
What page was number one?
565. Okay, geometric mean for number one. All right. Number three. Is on page 567. It's the next theorem. 8.3. And we're trying to solve for x. X equals the square root of 2 times 14. Okay, so x is going to equal you take the square root of the little, we were on the base again, the little part of the base times the whole base. So that is root 28. 4 times 7 is 28, so that's 2 root 7. Okay. Okay. Number 4, good old Pythagorean theorem from page 575. So we're going to say 60 squared plus 20 squared is x squared. That ends up being 4,000 is x squared. And if you take the square root of 4,000, that's 200 times 10. And the square root of 400 times 10. Square root of 400 is 20. So it's 20 root 10. That one up. All right. Number 5. The next one I used Pythagorean theorem also because that's a equilateral triangle. So when you draw the altitude from that, it's going to cut your base in half. So I could solve for x using Pythagorean theorem. So that's what I used for number 5. Right, and
Number 4.
yeah.
So I didn't put the simplified. I sent you two. And on my work, I had x equals 20 root 10.
Oh, you did?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Let me write that in there. So I do remember yours, and I remember seeing the 4,000. Okay. Grace. 20 root 10. You say that was on a second one?
Yeah, I sent you the work, and it's the.
Oh, good. Okay, thank you. Okay. Number 5, we're going to use Pythagorean theorem. 10 squared plus x squared equals 20 squared. So 100 plus x squared is 400. X squared is 300. X is root 300. That's 100 times 3, so 10 root 3. Okay? All right, number 6, good old Pythagorean theorem again. Now, that is a square. All the sides of that square are x, okay? So for number 6, we're going to say x squared plus x squared is 22 squared. That gives us 2x squared is 484. X squared is 242. Take the square root of both of those. That's 121 times 2, so 11 root 2. All right, Pythagorean theorem again. Can you see all of 6 on my board?
Yep.
Okay.
I think I did that like differently.
Okay, what did you do?
Instead of using the Pythagorean theorem,
Uh-huh.
I just said that since it was like a 45, 45, 90, I just
Yeah.
like multiplied it by root 2. Or divided it by
Divided it by root 2?
Yeah, that's what
Yeah.
I did.
Okay, so you had 22 root 2 over 2, 11 root 2. Good.
Yeah.
Okay. Also very good. Yep. Okay. Mrs. Palmer gets stuck on Pythagorean theorem because I just love it. So I use it like anytime I can. But number 7, I think I did jump to the 30, 60, 90. Okay. So number 7 tells us angle D is 60. So we know that makes angle DAC 30, DAF 30. We're looking for AF. We have a 30, 60, 90. AD is 4. So AD is the hypotenuse. So for number 7, I said 4 is the hypotenuse. So short leg is 2. And we're looking for the long leg, which is 2 root 3. Okay, so they gave us the hypotenuse of 4. The short leg's half the hypotenuse, so short leg is 2, and then long leg is short leg root 3, so 2 root 3. Number 8, we have a 30, 60, 90 again. So for this one was a little bit tricky. Let me see what we're looking for. Number 8, we're looking for X and we're looking for Y. So I think I used the top triangle first. All right, that top triangle, like to the left, is a 30, 60, 90. The long leg is X. So we're looking for the long leg of that triangle on the top or the triangle to the left. So if our long leg is X, we know our hypotenuse is 4 root 3. All right, so for number 8, I said 4 root 3 is the hypotenuse. So short leg is half of that. So the short leg is 2 root 3. Long leg is 2 root 3 times root 3, which is 6. All right, 2 root 3 times root 3, because root 3 times root 3 is 3. 2 times 3 is 6. All right, so x is 6. Are you guys okay with x being 6?
Yeah.
Okay. Now we have to solve for y, so we look at the second triangle, the one on the right. Our short leg is 6. It's also a 30, 60, 90. We're looking for the hypotenuse. If our short leg is 6, our hypotenuse, so 6 is x, our hypotenuse is 12. Okay. Use 6 for x, and short leg is 6, so hypotenuse is 12. That was number 8. All right. Number 9. Number 9 is page 596. Using the trig functions. We have to find x to the nearest 10th. We know one of our angles is 18 degrees, so we're going to say cosine 18 degrees equals 9.2 over x. All right. Cosine, remember SOHCAHTOA. So cosine is adjacent over hypotenuse, 9.2 over x. All right, we use our cross product. So x times the cosine of 18 degrees equals 9.2. We want to solve for x, so we're going to divide both sides by cosine of 18 degrees. 9.2 divided by cosine of 18 degrees. You got to use the calculator and hope that's all working out well. And x ends up being 9.7. Did it say to the, to the nearest 10th. And this is number 9. Okay. You guys all right with that one?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, number 10. We have an A-frame house. And it's 30 feet wide. The height is 40. Find the measure of the angle the roof makes with the floor. So that's that X down there. Okay, so number 10. I made the drawing on my paper. And I said, all right, that means the tangent of X equals, tangent is opposite over hypotenuse. All right, so if you look at that, oh, sorry, I drew a line down the center. Cut your triangle in half. Okay, so that height is 40. And it's an A-frame house. So the sides, those two sides coming down from the house, because that's an A-frame house, those sides are congruent, or else your house would be all falling over weird, okay? So you draw that line down, that's 40, and it's going to cut the base in half, and our base was 30. All right, and we're looking for that angle. So we're looking for this angle, so opposite over adjacent, 40 over 15, and opposite over adjacent is tangent. So tangent of X is 40 over 15. Okay, so that means X equals the inverse tangent of 40 over 15. So you have to use inverse tan for this one. It's from page 599. I'll hold that up for you. So inverse tan of 40 over 15, you have to use your calculator. It said round it to the nearest degree. And you should end up with 69 degrees. Okay. That's number 10. Does anybody need me to put it back up?
Yeah.
All right. Tell me when to put it down, Luke.
You're good.
Okay. Number 11, one of the tree ones. A 30-foot tree casts a 12-foot shadow. All right. So I drew a picture with my 30-foot tree. And then there's a shadow on the bottom. And it's a 12-foot shadow. Okay. So my bad picture looks something like that. 30-foot tree, 12-foot shadow. And what's it asking me for? Find the measure of the angle of elevation to the sun. Okay, so we're looking for angle X here at the bottom. So I know my opposites over adjacent. So I know my tangent again. Tangent X is 30 over 12. X equals tangent inverse. 30 over 12. To the nearest degree. I really like to see your work for these. So Grace, did you send your work like just recently, or was it there and I missed it in the first place?
I think it was there.
Okay. I do like to see your work so I can give you partial credit for work done correctly. And the other thing is, for some ones, they had number 10, they had 68, and number 11, 69, but no work. So then that leads me to like start thinking, did they just like mix up 10 and 11? Did they copy the answers from somewhere and mix up 10 and 11? Like, I would like to see this. All right. And most of you have the ability to take a picture and send it to me, or just have like mom or dad do it. I know it's kind of hard to type that all in. So if you can send a picture, that's awesome. All right. And number 12, we had a boat. Oh, they drew the picture. Boat's 1,000 meters from a cliff. If the angle of depression. Okay. So got this boat. So I tried to redraw what they had. It's 1,000 meters. They told me that if the angle of depression from the top of the cliff to the boat. So if I'm looking down at the top of the cliff, and I've got this little sailboat down here, okay? The angle of depression is 15 degrees. That's here. So then I use opposite interior angles. And this is also 15 degrees down here. All right, a boat is 1,000 meters. If the angle of depression from the top of the cliff to the boat is 15 degrees, how tall is the cliff? So we're looking for this X over here, okay? So we've got 15 degrees. This is opposite over adjacent again. All right, so the tangent of 15 degrees equals X over 1,000. This one's kind of easy to solve for X, right? X equals 1,000 times tangent 15 degrees. So you're just typing that into your calculators. Tangent of 15 degrees times 1,000. Round it to the nearest tenth. You should get 267.9 meters. Okay. One more, number 13. Got this plane. I'm going to run out of time. And I don't want to cut into your next class. And I have to teach algebra. So I'll let you do your drawing. But you end up saying tangent of x degrees is 10,000 over 50,000. All right. So x is going to equal inverse tan of 10,000 over 50,000. And you put that in your calculator. We want it to the nearest degree, 11 degrees.
Oh, I got all of those right, but like the first couple I didn't.
Which ones did you miss, Colby? Was it like
I got 2 through 7 wrong, and then I got the rest right.
okay. All right, your bonus was from it was theorem 8.3 from page 567. And you guys did a pretty good job. Some of you got the bonus for that one. You should have gotten x equals 1.
Can you show us how to do that one? I couldn't figure it out and guessed 1 and got it right.
Okay. It's page 567, theorem 8.3. Okay. So I'm going to do x, the short leg, like the short part of the base, times the whole base, which is x plus 5 equals. Now, how did I want to do that? No. Sorry. I'm doing x plus 5 over root 6. So I'm doing the whole base over the root 6 part equals the root 6 part over the small part. So x plus 5 over root 6 equals root 6 over x. We do cross products. So x squared plus 5x equals, and root 6 times root 6 is 6. So it equals 6. I'm going to subtract 6 from both sides. X squared plus 5x minus 6 equals 0. I'm going to factor it like I'm in algebra 1. X plus 6, x minus 1 equals 0. All right, solve for x. So x is either negative 6 or 1. X is negative 6, x is 1. I'm going to cross out negative 6 because x is a measure, and I can't have part of that triangle be negative 6. All right, get rid of that one, and x is 1. All right, so that's kind of back from algebra 1. Okay, and if you're happy with your grade, that's awesome. If you want to use these notes, and I could even screenshot my notes and put it into your Google Classroom, and I'll put another form on. I have to teach a class right away, but I could do it later on today. Put that in there. You can redo if you want to improve your grade. And then tomorrow we're going to start on chapter 10. So for homework, I just want you to read the first section of chapter 10.
Wait, when would we redo the test?
You could redo it probably like on Friday, because I mean you could do it all during the week, but I would leave it for work for you to do on Friday.
All right.
Okay.
If we got a worse grade than we got on the test that we just took, would the grade that on the test that we just took be like our grade that we overall grade that we got?
I would give you the better grade.
Okay.
Okay. All right, guys. Have a good day.
Thanks, you
All right,
too.
bye. Thank you.
See
You're welcome.
ya.
Bye-bye.